x per cos x minus sin x cos x per cos x equals to k. And then, karena ini sama-sama bawahnya cos x, kita bisa
Yes, Kayla, are you disconnected again? Yeah, I think so. Um, okay. Yeah, let's wait a little bit.
Sorry, Mister. I think Kayla got a problem.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Mr. I think I got disconnected again. Can I
Okay.
continue?
Yes, please.
And then after we got this, kita bisa ubah bentuknya jadi sin x buka kurung 1 plus cos x per cos x per sin x 1 min cos x per cos x. Ini bisa kita ubah jadi kayak gini karena dua-duanya punya sin, jadi bisa kita keluarin sinnya dan jadi ini. And then we got dan kita udah bisa dapat bentuk ini. So moving on to the next question. The question is Han express cos x in terms of k. Nah, kita bisa kaliin yang bawah ini ke sini dulu. Jadi 1 plus cos x equals to k times 1 min cos x. Jadi 1 plus cos x equals to k min k cos x. Terus kita pindahin yang cos ini ke sebelah sini supaya bisa kita jadi in terms of k. Jadi K cos X plus cos X equals to K minus 1. Terus karena ini sama-sama ada cos X, kita bisa keluarin cos X jadi gini. Terus kita pindahin ini ke bawah sini, jadi cos X equals to K min 1 per K plus 1. This is the answer of cos X in terms of K.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Next slide, Tal. And this is how I do it tadi. Dan kita bakal dapat hasil ini dan buktiin ini.
Yes. Nice. Okay, so for the question for C, yeah, you use the equation or cos X, yeah, from part B, yeah. Ya, itu yang tadi. Okay, next. Next person.
So the next question is question number 6, part A. By first expressing each of f of x and g of x in completed square form, express g of x in the form f of x plus p plus q, where p and q are constants. So the first step, by the given equations, we have to change it into the completed square form. In this form, and to fill this section, we have to factorize this given equation, which is, in this case, we got x minus 1 to the power of 2. That x minus 1 give the results that approach this given equation. So the results of x minus 1 to the power of 2 is x squared minus x squared minus 2x plus 1. And because we have to change this given equation into the exact same value in this form, we have to find the differences between the coefficient between this coefficient and the results that we got from this factorization. Okay, so we got 4, and we substitute it into this form, and we got f of x equals to x minus 1 to the power of 2 plus 4. And we do the same to the g of x equation. we have to find the completed form of this given equation. And the factorization that most likely approach this given equation is x plus 2 to the power of 2. That give us the result of x squared plus 4x plus 4. So again, because we have to give the same exact value like the given equation, we have to find the differences between the coefficient from the given equation with the coefficient that we got from the results of factorization. And we got 9. So for g of x, the completed square form is g of x equals to x plus 2 to the power of 2 plus 9. Next, for the second step, because we have to express g of x in the form of f of x plus p plus q, we can do it by substitute the value from f of x and g of x to find the value of p. We substitute this one from the f of x to here, and this one from the g of x to this section, and we get p equals to 3. And then we do the same to find the q. So we substitute the number from f of x, this one to here, and from the g of x, this one to here. So we got q equals to 5. So after that, we just have to substitute these values into this form. So g of x equals to f of x plus 3 plus 5. So this is the answer, the final answer. Next question for 7a, and this question is about binomial expansion. So A, write down the first 4 terms of the expansion in ascending powers of x of a minus x to the power of 6. So to solve this problem, we have to expand this term to do this. And we use the Pascal triangle. We use these values. And because we just asked to answer the first 4 terms, we don't have to use until this value, so we can just use the first 4 terms. And we substitute it to here, 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 and here to multiply it by these expansions. And as you can see, the power of the expansions for the a variable, it's counting down from 6 to 0. It must be 0, but because we don't have to count until the very last term, so it only shows until 3. And for the minus x variable, the power we have to count from 0 to 6, like inversely from the first one. So we got this, we multiplied it, and this is the final answer for the first 4 terms.
Okay.
Okay, next for the question number 7, part B. Given that the coefficient of x squared in expansion of 1 plus 2 per ax multiplied by a minus x to the power of 6 is minus 20. Find the exact form, the possible values of the constant a. So to do this, we can use these first 4 terms that we got from 7a, the answer of 7a, and we multiplied it by 1 plus 2 per ax. And we don't have to multiply all of it because we just have to find the terms that leads to x squared. In this case, we can multiply 1 with 15a to the power of 4 x squared, and then 2 per ax multiplied with x to the power of 3. So we got this result. And then for the next step, we can find the variable of the values of the constant a by the given coefficient of x squared, which is minus 20. And we can use this equation. We substitute this one to the equation and the coefficient to the other side. And we can use the factorization in this equation, quadratic equation. And then we can simplify it by dividing it by 5. So we got this to make it easier. And we can factorize it into this form. And we got a. The answer of a is plus minus root of 2 per 3. And a equals 2 plus minus root of 2.
Mr. Sorry, there's already Mr. Novan in the class chat. Do we continue or do
Oh, in the
we?
class, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll contact Mr. Novan. Please continue, ya.
continue. Okay.
So number 8 is about functions. The first question is functions f and g are defined as follows. F maps x onto x squared minus 1 for x less than 0. G maps x onto 1 over 2x plus 1 for x less than negative 1 over 2. Solve the equation fg of x equals 3. So first we need to write it as f with the object to be g of x to be equal to 3. Oh, wait. And then we replace the x with the g of x in the function of f. So it will be g of x to the power of 2 minus 3 to be equal to 3. And then we change the g of x with 1 over 2x plus 1 to the power of 2. This equals to 4. And then we change the g of x with 1 over 2x plus 1 to the power of 2. And next we need to use square root. So the square root of 4 is plus minus 2. And then on this side, we got 1 over 2x plus minus 1. Here we have two options, the positive 1 and the negative 1. So first we have 1 over 2x plus 1 equals to 2. And here we can switch the positions of 2x plus 1 with 2. So we will get negative 1 over 2 equals to 2x plus 1. And then we need to divide them by 2 to get the x. So x equals to negative 1 over 4. And then we can do the same with the previous one here. So 1 over 2x plus 1 equals to 2, negative 2. And then the negative 2. And 2x minus 1, switch the positions. So negative 1 minus negative 1 over 2 equals to negative 3 over 2 to be equal to 2x. And so we got negative 3 over 4. And how do we determine the final answer? So the domain of f g of x will be based on the function of g of x. We just say that the x needs to be less than minus 1 over 2. Negative 1 over 4 is not less than minus 1 over 2, and negative 3 over 4 does. So the final answer is negative 3 over 4. Next. Moving on to the 8b. So find an expression for f g inverse of x. F g of x equals to f with the object of g of x and replace it with g of x to the power of 2 minus 1. And then we can replace it again with 1 over 2x plus 1 to the power of 2 minus 1. We can change the fg inverse of x with y. So it will be x equals to fg of y. And we will get x equals to 1 over 2y plus 1 to the power of 2 minus 1. And then we can shift 1 to the left-hand side. And next we will be using square root. So the left side will be plus minus square rooted x plus 1. And the right side will be 1 over 2y plus 1. And then we switch the plus minus 1 with 2y plus 1. So it will be easier for us to find the y. And then move 1 to the right hand side. So we will get 2y equals to 1 over plus minus square rooted x plus 1. And then and next we divide them by 2. So y equals to 1 over plus minus 2 square rooted x plus 1 minus over 4. Over 2, sorry.
Yes.
And then, oh wait. And then we can change the y back to f the inverse of x.
Nashwa, are you still there?
I'm sorry, Mr.
sorry.
Nashwa. On it.
Yeah, I'm back, sir. Sorry.
Okay, yes.
Okay, so we can change the y back to FG inverse of x. So
Okay.
FG inverse of x equals to 1 over plus minus square root x plus 1 minus 1 over 2. So now how do we determine the positive or the negative? So the domain of FG of x will be based on the g of x. So x will be less than negative 1 over 2.
Mhm.
So I drew the sketch of x squared minus 1 here and put the negative 1 over 2 on the x part. And to find the y coordinate, we can use the x squared minus 1 formula. So negative 1 over 2 square minus 1 equals to negative 3 over 4. Therefore, the range of FG of x will be bigger than negative 3 over 4. And it will be negative 3 over 4 or bigger. And to find the domain and the range of FG inverse, we only need to look at the ones in FG of x, and reverse it. So the range in FG inverse will be less than negative 1 over 2. And finally, we can try it on some number. So, and let's just put 0 on the y equals to equals to 1 over 2 plus minus square root x plus 1 minus 1 over 2. If we use the positive 1, it will be 1 over 2 minus 1 over 2, which equals to 0. And as we all know, 0 is not less than negative 1, which means it's not in the range. So therefore, we use negative instead of positive for the final answer. And so it will be like FG inverse of x equals to negative 1 over 2 square root x plus 1 negative 1 over 2. Next.
For number 9a, a geometric progression is such that the second term is equal to 24% of the sum to infinity. Find the possible values of the common ratio. So we know that the second term is 24% of the sum of infinity. And so we can use this and we put it as use 2 equals to 24 over 100 times sum of infinite. After that, we can insert the formulas for second term and sum of infinity. To find second term, we use a times r to the power of 2 minus 1. And the unit for sum of infinite is a over 1 minus r. And so we move the a over 1 minus r to the second term place. And so on one side, it'll be 24 over 100. And on the other side, it'll be a times r times 1 minus r over a. And so we can cross out the a's because it'll be equals to 1. And we times r with 1 and also r with minus r. And it'll be equal to r minus r squared. After we get 24 over 100 equals to r minus r squared, we move the 100 towards the r minus r squared to get this part. And we times the r minus r squared with the 100 to get 100r minus 100r squared minus 24. Because this equation is very big, we can divide this with 4 to get 25r minus 25r squared minus 6. Next, we make the equation into this 25r squared minus 25r plus 6, and that is from time multiplying this equation with minus to get 25r as positive. We factorize this part to get 5. We factorize this part to get 5r minus 3 times 5r minus 2. And so the answer for r, for common ratio, is 3/5 and also 2/5.
Okay.
Next. For 9b, an arithmetic progression P has first term A and common difference D. An arithmetic progression Q has first term 2 times A plus 1 and common difference D plus 1. It is given that fifth term of P, the ratio of fifth term of P and 12th term of Q is 1/3, and the ratio of sum of first 5 term of P and sum of first 5 term of Q is 2/3. The first thing we need to I did was we solved the part for the 5th term and 12th term. We use because this is an arithmetic progression, we use the arithmetic progression formula, which is an equals to a plus n minus d times d, minus 1 times d, sorry. And so we insert that for the 5th term and the 12th term to get a plus 1, a plus 5 minus 1 times d over 2 times a plus 1 plus 12 minus 1 times d plus 1. And that equals to 1/3. After that, we simplify this and the bottom part too to get a plus 4d over 2a plus 11d plus 13 equals to 1/3. We kali silang these equations to get 2a plus 11d plus 13 because we times this with 1, and 3a plus 12d because we times the a plus 4d with 3. And then we move all of the numbers to one side to get a plus d minus 13 equals to 0. This is the first part. The second part, we use the sum of P and Q. We put this into this equation and we kali silang it with the 2/3. So 3 times sum of the first term of P equals to 2 times sum of the first term of Q. We insert the formula for sum of n to get 3 times 5/2 times 2a plus 5 minus 1 times d, that which equals to 2 times 5/2 times 2 times 2 times a plus 1 plus 5 minus 1 times d plus 1. This part, when we multiply it, we will get 4a plus 4. And this part, when we multiply it, we'll get 4d plus 4. And so after that, we cross out the 5 with this 5 over here. And this 2 with this 2 over here. And so we get 3 over 2 times 2a plus 4d equals to 4a plus 4 plus 4d plus 4. We can add up the 4 over here because it's the same. The same, apanya kita forgot.
Like term.
And so, yeah. And so we get 3a plus 6d because we times 3 over 2 with 2a plus 4d equals to 4a plus 4d plus 8. We move all of the numbers to one side to get a minus 2d plus 8. The third step is to find a and d. And so we use this equation and this equation, and we eliminate, we use elimination to find d, So a plus d minus 13 equals to 0. A minus 2d plus 8 equals to 0. We eliminate the a to get 3d minus 21, which equals to 0. We move the minus 21 to the other side, so we get 3d equals to 21. And then we move the 3 to the other side so that d will be on itself, and 21 will be divided by 3, which equals to 7. So d is 7. And so because we already found d, we can insert that d into one of these equations. We can choose this, or we can use this, depending on which one you prefer. And I prefer the a plus d, a minus 13 equals to 0. This is the same as a plus d equals to 13. We insert the 7 into the d so that we get a plus 7 equals to 13. We move the 7 to the other side so that a equals to 13 minus 7. And so we found the answer for a, and that is a equals to 6. Next.
The question for number 10 is points a negative 2, 3, B 3, 0, and C 6, 5 lie on the circumference of a circle with center D. A. Show that angle ABC equals to 90 degrees. We know that 90 degrees is a perpendicular line, so we use M1, M2 equals to -1. And here we can write M1 as MEB and M2 as MEC. The formula of this is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And then we just need to insert them in the formula. So MAB is 0 minus 3 over 3 plus 2 times MEC, 5 minus 0 over 6 minus 3. And we will get 3 over 5 times 5 over 3. That coret aja. And we will get -1. So it shows that angle ABC is 90 degrees since M1 times M2 equals to -1.
Okay, so is that all? Okay.
Yes, that is all, Mr. Thank you for the attention. This is all from us. We apologize if there are any mistakes. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Oke, jangan di ini dulu ya. I will do a quick recap of your presentation. So for there are in case you want to share your presentation with your friends, or in case anyone want to see the recording, I will do a quick recap for your slides. So there are some Yeah, so in general, your presentation is already good, yeah. So I don't see a real mistake, yeah. I mean, all of the problems is solved correctly. Yeah, except for some slight salah tulis gitu ya. Yeah, for example, in 4C, yeah, can you go to 4C? Okay, so you can see in the 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry. Okay, not 4C. Oh yeah, sorry. In 4C, you change the angle. Okay, wait. Okay, sorry, not 4C, 5A or 5B. Okay, can you go to 5A? Okay, sorry, 5B then. Okay, yeah. There is a slight mistake here in the first part, yeah. So arc length BAD equals it is written there pi times r, yeah. The correct one should be theta times r, but I think I think you already understand this. This is just a mistake in writing the formula, ya. Jadi bukan pi kali r, tapi theta kali r gitu ya. Nah kalau pi kali r itu berarti 3,14 gitu kan. Kalau theta itu tergantung sudutnya yang ada di sana. Okay, that's the first one. The second one, okay, this is not a mistake, but just some input, yeah, for all of you, including the ones who is not presenting now, which is still in this part. I mean in this part 5B, yeah. So in the second step you did was what you did was convert the angle BAD to degrees, yeah. This is not needed, but yeah, just like I said before, this is not a mistake, but not really needed, ya. Jadi kalian tidak harus ubah dulu ke derajat, bisa langsung dalam radian. Saran saya adalah lebih baik kalau tidak perlu diubah, jangan diubah gitu ya. Artinya ini untuk langkahnya insya Allah tidak akan salah gitu ya kalau kalian lakukan seperti ini, tapi khawatir di soal tertentu akan terjadi kesalahan saat membulatkan seperti itu. So there will be some mistakes ya when you membulatkan gitu ya. Karena diminta kan biasanya 3 significant figures ya. Saat dibulatkan khawatir ada yang salah, meskipun tidak pasti ada yang salah gitu ya. Dan di soal ini kebetulan ya tidak ada yang tidak terpengaruh gitu ya, cuman di soal lain bisa jadi terpengaruh. Okay, and then okay, part 8, number 8, part A. Yeah, there are some confusion, yeah, for the sign. So sometimes you write it down as 2x plus 1, sometimes 2x minus 1. So, ya, saya juga tahu di sini bukan salah ya, hanya salah tulis saja karena kesananya benar gitu. Kemudian, yeah, I think that's all yeah that I can find. So in general, you did well, and yeah, thank you for doing the presentation and preparing the presentation. Yeah. So yeah, that's all for today. Sorry for taking your time. Saya sudah izin tadi ke Mr. Novan untuk minta sebagian jamnya. So yeah, let's close today's meeting with hamdalah. Alhamdulillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Mr.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr.